Sure.
Good day, everyone. We have a pleasant interview for you today. We have guests that I consider to be my soul family, and I'm so happy to share this interview with you all and to actually meet his frequency on this level during this interview. I have been drinking lithium water since about 2009. And just as luck would have it, during the pandemic, when things slowed completely down, I had the opportunity to actually connect with this fantastic person that I have for you today. His name is Ken, and he's going to talk to us about this bold statement, this bold, wild accusation. We've all seen Pirates of the Caribbean and Indiana Jones, and we've heard the mysteries and the myth surrounded around the Fountain of Youth. And so we're going to actually get into this interview and say that we have concrete evidence that the Fountain of Youth exists and is not where you think it is. Please welcome Kian. How are you today? How's your wellness?
My wellness is great, and my happiness is wonderful. Hang on one second. One moment.
Awesome, awesome. So, as I was saying, I've been drinking lithium water since like 2009, and when things slowed down during the pandemic, I actually had the opportunity to connect to Kian, and I was trying to get things together with my delivery. You know, it was just total chaos in 2020. And so we began to talk and to discuss, and he began to share and enlighten me about his travels and things. And so here we are, fast forward 4 years later, talking about the Fountain of Youth. So we'll let Ken take over from here.
Hello, everyone. I'm sharing something with you that we have not shared with the world, and so this is kind of a first. The obvious thing is that the Fountain of Youth, to most people, is a myth. The reason it's a myth is because for 511 years, no one has ever discovered it. I'm not bragging or anything like that, but as a child, as having to live in the panhandle of Florida, we got to go to see the Fountain of Youth in Florida. And I'll never forget it. We went there and I drank from the fountain, and it was a drinking fountain. And the whole place, I had read a little book about the Fountain of Youth. And the key to the Fountain of Youth is that if you drink the water, you will actually live so much longer and so much healthier. Now, the interesting thing is that science is now caught up with the actual science of telomeres. And what they know about telomeres is that this is what makes you grow old, because your body is made of nothing but cells, and all your cells are constantly dying, and these cells are replicated before they die. You actually replicate a new cell, and that new cell has like a wick of a candle on the chromosome. That's called a telomere, and it gets smaller every generation. So this is what Ponce de Leon was seeking, because he wanted to live longer, and he wanted to find gold, lots of gold. And the first gold rush in the United States is actually in, of all places, you'll never believe it, but it's in Georgia.
Oh, wow.
And the discovery of the Fountain of Youth was in Georgia. This is an ancient megalithic water temple. This is, he's looking pretty good for 511 years. And so what we're going to show you is the amazing discoveries we've made, and how through science and through archaeological knowledge, we actually are able to make this incredible discovery. And we hope you'll enjoy it, because you're going to discover about how the ancients used this type of water to actually live longer and healthier. And so I think, what do you think? We need to go to the discovery. I'd
Yeah,
like to talk about what we really are. I'd like to have people understand what water is really about.
yeah. The evidence of the fountain of youth. If we could touch on that first, and then get into what it is.
It's a
So the
big one.
evidence.
It's a big one. It's a big one. I'll do that. Okay, so just bear with me one moment. And let's see. Now we're in the blog.
Did you want to share something?
Pardon?
Did you want to share something right now on the screen? We just have Ponce de Leon. Were you trying to share something?
Yeah, I was trying to share something. Yeah.
Okay, let me get that set up for you. There you go.
It's working. Hello.
Yes, yes, yes.
Everybody can see it. Yeah. So I want to tell your audience that first and foremost, this is not a myth. This is a real discovery, a monumental archaeological discovery, actually. And so, one of the things I would tell archaeologists is why does it take so long, 500 some years to find it? And the obvious reason is you got to be a great detective. You got to follow your clues. I spent years and years and years finding clues. So what I'm going to show you, I'm going to scroll through this, but it's telling you right now about the significance of this historical event. And the reason is no one's ever found it. And the obvious thing is that there is a real fountain of youth, and you're going to see it shortly. We're going to follow the clues. This is Ponce de Leon. He's just reached the shores of what is called Puerto Rico. These Indians are called the Tano Indians. They've told him where lots of gold was, and they told him where the fountain of youth was. So going to clue one, follow the clue. Clue one, you got to discover a fountain that flows with anti-aging water. Now you're going to laugh at that because you've never heard of it. But if you go onto Google and type lithium and anti-aging, you'll find out that lithium is an anti-aging nutrient. And this water has it naturally. It's natural in the water. It's the only water in America that has natural occurring lithium, and it has many other attributes. And so here's an eye, here's a nose, here's a mouth. It's all carving. It's about 4,000 years old.
When you're saying it's an eye and it's a nose and a mouth, can you clarify what that means?
It's on a profile. Yeah, it's on a profile. You'll see my little, here's the eye. You can see how it's cut out. You see the eye, see the nose. And there's all over here. This is all carvings. So these are carvings that are thousands of years old in granite. And so now we go to the clue number two, shamanic healing. This has always been a shamanic water temple, and it's been that for thousands of years. When we first came to this area, it was all underground. It took us years digging it out of the ground. So you can't understand this, but think of a giant jungle that just consumes it all. And this is now 20 miles away from Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, I was just about to ask you where was the location.
Yeah, 20 miles outside of Atlanta, Georgia. And it was a famous place where the richest people in the world went. And they had a 500-room hotel.
It's funny that you say that. I saw somewhere where like the presidents used to go to the lithium spring water area.
And the Vanderbilts, the richest people in the world, they would go as well. And at that time, this was all covered with earth. So they didn't even know it was a temple. And then here now, clue three, you have to discover animal effigies. An effigy, what is an effigy? It's giant carvings out of granite. And this is a smiling turtle. And the turtle is actually the symbol of long life and health with the native Indians and ancient civilizations that once were in America. And here we have a smiling turtle. And interestingly enough, that's the front of a pyramid. This is the only step pyramid in the United States. It's the only one. It's the only smiling turtle in the world. And so it's like a beacon that's really tells everyone that this is the place to drink the water that will give you long life and health. And now, clue number 4. Now, these are clues I had to put together over a number of years. It sounds funny that it would take that long, but it does. If you're going to
How
really
many
make
years are we talking about?
I actually, as childhood, it's a childhood dream type thing. So it's been a lot of years. And so, and my own health is quite amazing considering, aging doesn't relate to age, but to biology. And this water has unique properties. Now, what I'm showing you is where we are digging out artifacts. You have to do it all by hand. It's a lot of work. It takes a long time. But this is one of our great discoveries. This was,
Now, these artifacts were found at the Lithia spring water site.
yeah, we've never really broadcasted because we had to put up security because of artifact hunters. So we are now protected by both the state and the federal government. If anybody steals anything or try and get in there, they're going to have problems. So what's fascinating is we can dig it and find the treasures, but that's because we have the knowledge to do it without damaging it. This is about 80 pounds of quartz crystal.
Oh,
This is
wow.
a head, right? But if you look at it, what I'm showing you are all these carvings. They had tattoos then. Isn't that interesting? And this is what we believe could be possibly African because of the Olmecs. The Olmecs were in Central America. They were here as well. They could cut super hard stones and do it with such amazing finesse. They made some of the finest, what we call, they're actually, it's a precious stone that they love, which is, of course, the hardest of all stones. So they would have had to had sophisticated lapidary cutting stones. This is very hard to carve. It is quartz crystal, and it's 4,000 years old. They love jade. Jade's a big deal, and the jades are very hard. And then they were able to look at this number 5, mystical spirit stone petroglyphs. Petroglyphs are what's carved into a stone, an image, etc. But here it's totally different. They somehow emboss it into the stone. They're not carving it. They're burning it into the stone. If you look here, there'll be a little eye, there'll be a nose, a mouth, a big old snake's coming from his head, and then he's leaning down. This is very Olmec. This is an Olmec type of petroglyph. Here you'll see another guy, but most people, they cannot see it so clearly because it isn't symmetrical.
Mm.
And so the designs are carved in natural stone surface that convey spiritual concepts. These rocks are art images that are made thousands of years ago. And here
So
we go.
how did they
Yeah,
confirm that this was the actual fountain of youth based on this information that you're showing us?
because there's nothing like it in the world.
Oh,
And it is
wow.
the only thing that can be the fountain of youth because it has a giant fountain, a giant temple. This is a water temple that I'd love to enlighten people about. And that this is a water temple that's never been discovered. It's just been walked over. It was consumed by a giant forest. And we were able somehow, by sheer luck and sheer persistence, to find the real fountain of youth. Well, if somebody can come up with the same thing, and not only that, I'm getting to that point.
Okay.
Here's the big point. Clue number 6. Scientists have discovered lithium water may extend cell life and human lifespan. Low dose of lithium uptake promotes longevity in humans. Now, this is according to the Natural Center of Biotechnology Information. And you can type it in and you can see it and read the actual research. It's all real. So when lithium is in water, and it's the only lithium water in the United States that you can actually drink in commercially, and it is the only source of it. And then now when we get down to your question was, how do you know? Well, the Tano Indians lived where the Fountain of Youth was. They traveled all up and down the entire coast of North America, Central America, and even into South America. And they had settlements here in, of all places, Douglasville. If you go to ancestry.com, they'll tell you it's true. They can tell that by taking blood samples of people, for instance. And they told Ponce de Leon where it was, and that's what this painting is actually about. The Tano
And
Indians.
they told him in Douglas, Georgia. They told him where it was.
Well, it wasn't Douglas, Georgia then. No, it was the gold fields of. It were the actual gold fields of Atlanta, Georgia, I should say, or La Florida was the real name. It was called La Florida, and
Georgia was Atlanta was called La Florida.
Yeah, all of Georgia and parts of and also Alabama, parts of Alabama. So it wasn't just Florida. It was a very huge chunk of land that the Spanish king owned and gave Ponce de Leon, gave him the authority to be the governor of all of it. And his death came from going up into what is today Georgia, and he was shot with a poisonous arrow from one of the Indians. They hated him.
Indigenous.
Yeah, they really hated him because what they had done to the Tano Indians, they stole all their gold, they put them into slavery. It was just horrifying. And then they all, many fled to Florida, where the Seminole Indians lived, and they lived together. So they didn't like these guys too much. They weren't.
Yeah, they had to defend themselves. Yeah, they were being massacred.
They were enslaved, and Ponce de Leon was part of it. Spent 6 years doing it. So he got what he deserved. He never found the Fountain of Youth. He had dreamt about it. This is me, a younger man. This is about 8 years ago. Of all places, I did a lot of archaeological digs in China with it, a very large museum. So I had a good background in archaeology as well. And here's what I'll show you a video of, is what you think here. This is
Can you make it full screen?
Pardon?
I was going to ask you make it full screen, but it's okay.
I don't know if I can.
That's okay.
Yeah. So
now, what are we
one part of a very large water temple? We actually have here in another place, we have a sacrificial altar. Yeah. Now we don't know what they were sacrificing, but they did sacrifice. And of course, 4,000 years ago, they were doing that, a long time ago. So now you see the fade, water flowing down. You see how the cuts were done. This is a long time ago. That's it. Drink from the real fountain of youth. And then I'm going to take you down here. And you guys, anybody wants a tour, they can come to our website, fill it out, and we'll put them on a waiting list. And this is our water, which I'd like to go to the next step. It has a lot of history. Yeah.
Before you go, go ahead.
Yeah, I see the frog here. It's a giant frog. It's Frog Rock. And that's also part of the temple. So we have many giant animals carved. Many. Some of them look very E.T. The E.T. Some very strange.
How large is this space? How large is it?
It's over 6 acres. Oh, you mean the whole temple is about 6 acres.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Very big, and it has a lot of history to it. But I'd like to show them the actual right here, our store. And the reason we have a store is because we're able to sell this water all over the United States. And every time somebody purchases it, it helps us finance the continued exploration of this incredible temple. And I do want to show you some other things.
And
You know,
while you're looking for that, I have to admit, like I told everyone at the top of this conversation, I found this water by going to a health food store when I lived in Ohio,
oh,
in
really?
Beaver
Wow.
Creek, Ohio. There's
Uh-huh.
a store there that I used to go to, and I would get this water. And just over the years, as I've relocated, I would get this water. And then as the years went by, as I began to get stable and not relocate so much, I just found that I had to have this water, and I would make sure that I had my orders in. That's how we connected, because I had changed the address and I wanted to make sure that my water didn't get crossed up when I was moving shortly.
There
And
you
I'd
go.
like to also add that buying direct, I found that I get a better price buying direct, even with the shipping costs. I get a better price buying direct from you all.
Then the stores, yeah. Yeah, one of the other things I want to talk about is a lot of people don't know what water is. They think water
Yes,
is H2O. But what I wanted to impart upon it, and this is a lot to do with finding the fountain of youth, is understanding what makes it the fountain of youth, and that is the actual ability of that water to be truly anti-aging. And you know, the human body is made up of over 75, up to 75% water, your entire body. So we're more like water than anything else. And the other very interesting thing is our brains are up to 85% water. And so, you know, water isn't just H2O. In prehistoric times, these water temples were made for shamanic, mystical healing. Like, think of it as, I always thought of it as a place like, you know, a place where you have to go to a doctor, a hospital. It would have been similar, but different. And they were built because of the water. The water gave them the ability to build that. And the reason is the water, they believe, has spiritual energy healing properties. Many ancient cultures, including the Egyptians, Romans, Greeks, and Chinese, give reverence to the water of their spiritual water temples.
so,
There's
Ken, when you say that water is more than H2O, where does water come from if it's more than H2O? Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, I'm going to get to that in about one couple
Oh,
minutes. But
I'm
here's a
sorry.
fascinating. You're psychic.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry. That's why we're soul family. We connect.
yeah, yeah. And so, you know, going into the ancient people's belief systems and understanding what a water temple is about, and they believed that such water could absorb prayers, cleanse the unwanted bad energies, and bestow health and longevity to those that drank it. And there was this very amazing scientist, a Japanese doctor and scientist. His name's Masaru Emoto. In 2004, he wrote a book, and it became a New York Times bestseller. The name of the book, and some of you probably read or heard about it, called The Hidden Messages in Water. And Dr. Emoto was not just a renowned scientist, but he was a guy that he's so curious about water. What happens when you pray with water? What happens with your feelings? And what he did, he proved how the influence of our thoughts, our words, and feelings on the molecules of water actually change the water itself. And so his research and books, actually inspired millions of people to realize that water isn't much more is much more than the H2O molecule. This water, incidentally, has many amazing self-healing micronutrients in it. So it goes to the point of the difference of water is what is in the water. And so I want to take you to that part. But let's go back to the question you asked, and that is the origin of water itself. did you know that it's not terrestrial? It actually comes from the outer space. It's 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 not Earth made. It's made in the cosmos. And so the interesting thing about this is that there's places out there, and we know this because of our telescopes, that create huge cellular nurseries that create water.
Mm.
And one such one is the Orion Nebula and the Helix Nebula, where water molecules are still forming today, and they produce enough water every day to fill Earth's oceans 60 times over.
Nice.
Now you have to wonder, well, how does it get over here, you know? And so there are theories, a lot of different theories, but the one that seems the most popular is the comet theory. And that you look at a comet out there, maybe some of you have seen it, comets. And so the theory of how Earth acquired water is billions of years ago is comets, which look like sperm cells, actually. I mean, I say that because that's what they claim it does look like. And that when it impacted with the Earth, these comets impacting with planets, impregnate them with water and life. Because we have not found Mars yet that has life on its surface, but they believe that there is water. They have found water, and the likelihood is there's some sort of life force. Yeah, the Journal of Nature, primordial water. So that's what this water is. This is a primordial water. The primordial waters are waters that have always been embedded in the earth, deep underneath the crust, have never been on the earth's surface before. They're pure. They're totally the original primordial earth. And so this water comes up at Lithia Springs, comes up out of solid quartz crystal granite. It's in a house, an 1880 house. It was specially built so no groundwater can actually contaminate it. All water has groundwater. All water is processed. Any water you pick up in a bottle is processed. It's not natural. So the people who actually created this house in the 1880s made it possible to keep the water primordial and pristine. So anyone who drinks this water is drinking real primordial water. Extremely rare, extremely.
So when you say anybody that drinks this water is drinking primordial waters, what about some of the claims that people have, like in hot springs or in Oregon and other parts of the world, even here in Illinois? They'll say that, oh, we have spring water and it's pure enough to drink, and you can, bring your bottles and you can drink it.
Oh yeah,
But
there are
what,
places. Yeah, there are a
but
lot of
what
places.
they have is not what you have here, right?
Well, there's no water temple, right? There's no
Right,
ancient fountain with anti-aging water. It'd be great
right.
if there was. And that, there'd be a lot of people getting younger. But here's the interesting thing, is that again we're going back to water. That is where we interpret it differently. So when you talk about, there is a place in Oregon that has lithium water. It comes out of the earth, through the earth, the ground. It's been contaminated many times. It has fountains, and it is very popular. It gets 100,000 people a year stopping by to drink it, and there are people that take it home. But it has stuff in it. They have to put it in the refrigerator, let it cool, and all the crap goes to the bottom, and it tastes like puke. But it was a medicine spring before, and people believe in that because they have an affinity to earth and to the healing powers of water. Uh,
Mm.
and it has been contaminated quite a few times by nature. Ours never would be that way. And not only that, it doesn't have the properties of it. And I'd love to be able to take a moment of your time to
Please.
to go into what this water is really about. Because when you get to what it's really about, it's about you. It's about your biology. And so, if you don't mind, I'd love to show you our homepage. And excuse me.
This
It's a big
website has
purchase.
grown so much. I just noticed over like the last couple of years, it's grown so much from when I first started watching, your webpage, making orders.
Well, we have quite a few. We also have one that's quite amazing, one to visit for water fasting, to learn the science of it, how to really use water for fasting. Here's the eye, the nose, the mouth, and this all carvings everywhere. This is a turtle, if you can see it, an eye and nose. And we're going to go down. This is how we're able to finance our work. It's not cheap. And the beauty behind it is the benefit people are getting. This is the only America's only commercial source of 100% all natural alkaline lithium mineral spring water. And let's go down here because I'm going to explore with you what
I
you're
have a bag here. If people want to see it closer, I have a bag here. Wow, this is a 5-liter bag. I'm just gonna
Oh, wow.
show real quick, and I'll come right back. This is
great.
the 5-liter bag. I get 2 of these monthly, and I could go through more, but I try to conserve it. And it has some of the information that Kia is sharing with us. But I just want you to see this is a 5-liter bag. So this is pretty big. This is the minimum size order that you can get from their website. And I get 2 of these delivered twice a month, sometimes once a month. It just depends. Okay, I'll put it back where they can see your screen.
Okay.
They're ready. They can see it.
All right. So what you're looking at is one of our stores, online stores. And biohacking is a big movement, a very, very big movement. It has a lot to do with understanding your own biomechanisms, and how to live longer, healthier, and happier. And so what this water is, it's a biohack water, basically. Your body has an incredible capacity to heal itself. If you're injured or become ill, your body should always restore itself to health. But if you're deficient in lithium minerals and the micronutrients, your body is weakened and the self-healing powers are much lower. So this is about you. It's about you understanding the importance of brain health. Detox. This is a detox water. It's a natural detox water. When you drink this water, you are actually being detoxed and you can't even feel it because it's natural. And what you need is just one thing, and that is what's in the water, and that's sulfate, Sulfate. It explains that this is what activates your liver to create enzymes that go out and find these heavy duty toxins and converts it to water soluble. So you have 500 mcgs of lithium anti-aging telomere extension. This is all real. This is 500 micrograms. This is what we call a micro dose, which the body takes and uses very, very well. And this promotes physical and mental health and life extension. And then you have the mitochondria. And I don't want to get too much into that, but we're actually cells and mitochondria. That's how we exist. And believe it or not, lithium supercharges mitochondria. And then the alkalinity. This is a natural alkaline water. All the alkaline waters out there, there are some that are natural, are made by artificial processes. They don't retain alkalinity like natural alkaline waters. And that is very important too, because it's very good for your gut. It's very good for your alkaline buffer system so that your blood and your body stays in a good alkaline. It has to be 7.4. That's the perfect number, not 10, not 12, that can hurt you and damage your teeth too.
Then
here
that's important.
A lot of people don't know these things, and they should. But unfortunately, a lot of people spend a lot of money advertising not telling the whole story. And here is the lithium and the anti-aging brain syndrome. That's interesting because a lot of people, as they're growing younger, they're growing older, younger, and they're deteriorating earlier than before.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of science behind this, and there is this movement about brain health, and so we're talking about now about what lithium does. Lithium bicarbonate can improve your focus, clarity, memory, and protect your neurons from toxins. So that's so important. That's a whole different animal because your brain is made with this like filter that doesn't allow things in. However, these bad toxins do get through the brain now. That's why they're having problems. And so lithium is very well known to be a neuron protector, protects your neurons. And then
If
you
I,
go in, yeah,
if I could just interject with a testimony here, during the time that we started talking in 2020, I was
yeah,
having tremendous health issues with
oh,
autoimmune disease, and I found myself spiraling. And I started making sure I had regular deliveries of the Lithia water. And I noticed a difference immediately. Now, I didn't really start to connect the dots to things until I started having discussions with you like years later. But I noticed how it would make me feel if I drank, say, 16 ounces before bed. And if I had, you know, 8 to 16 ounces in the morning before I got my day started, I could tell the difference between drinking a glass of Lithia water or drinking a glass of filtered water or some other spring water. And like dehydration, I didn't know I was dehydrated until I started drinking this water and I could feel the difference.
yeah. The water. Couple things about it. It's about 20% heavier than regular water, and that's because of the minerals. And there's when we talk about minerals, we talk about uh, the they actually have a term, and that has to do with the amounts of say how many minerals are in this water. Most water is made from the faucet, believe it or not. Most of the stuff that's being sold by Coca-Cola, they're not even natural waters. They're they're what's called reverse osmosis. So they remove everything out of the water and then they put stuff back into it. But essentially it's not a natural water. And
Yeah,
because it's not a natural water, it's not symbiotic.
I've had water from hot springs. I literally drove to Hot Springs, Arkansas, had my gallons
Wow.
and jugs,
Wow.
and I've actually gotten the water and I've taken it back home with me. But that water is not the same as this lithium water. That
Oh,
water wasn't much, and it was coming out the spring. It was warm, because it was coming straight
mhm.
out the ground. It was a hot day. It was in the summer, so I could taste the difference from the tap water that I was taking. I was like, okay, this water is different. It's different than the other bottled water that I've gotten, but it was nothing like the lithium water. Lithium water is heavy. It has a taste to it. Like most water doesn't have a taste, or if it does have a taste, it's pretty bland. That's not true with lithium water at all.
You know what it was called before? It's called
Hmm.
Sweetwater. So,
Ah.
so the actual Sweetwater Creek is the largest creek in the United States. People don't know that, and it was named after the Cherokee chief that was actually like the king or chief of that of the water temple and of that water, and his name was Akakanasa, which is translated to Sweetwater.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. So it goes back to the Cherokee, and then the Cherokee fought the Creek. They came down from Michigan, I believe, in the 14th century because of an ice age, early small ice age, and they came down to Georgia and they fought the Creek Indian for the Lithia Springs to from the ancient fountain. And so
Hey.
all the things we discovered tell us that people have been there since before history is prehistoric. We find artifacts that'll blow your mind that are super ancient, like 10,000 years old, 12,000 years old. So humans have been coming there a long, long time.
You said they were fighting the Creek Indian. Those are my people. My great grandmother was 100% full Creek Indian.
Oh, ho, ho. Yeah, Creek, been around a long time. They come from ancient people. They fought a lacrosse game. How's that? Nobody got killed. And they also had an agreement that they couldn't come and get the water. But it became the Cherokee for 200 years.
Mm.
So, interesting history. So I want to scroll down a little bit more and just say it's anti-aging lithium, the mental edge. Very interesting. The real athletes really have to have a competitive edge, and it has to have this incredible mental edge. And it's just good to have a sharper brain to get that mental edge. And believe it or not, lithium can give you that. It's because you're made that way. And without it, you won't have it, or you'll have something maybe that will be similar. But it has the magnesium, calcium, the sulfate, the potassium, cellular hydration. And that's what athletes need. That's what all of us need. And here's some pictures of one of the shamans doing it. You see the face here, the eye, the nose. It's quite amazing. And we have so much more. This is just part of it.
You guys watching, if you have questions, feel free to drop them in the chat if you have any questions for Ken as he goes through this presentation, his awesome presentation to help us understand this fantastic water and the fountain of youth discovered in America.
Yeah, the real fountain of youth. Well, it's supposed to be, but they were kept looking at the wrong places. All they had to do was go up into Georgia. No, maybe not. Yeah, so down here's a different panel. It shows that in the 1800s, it was the most popular water in New York City, also in Atlanta. The first Coca-Cola ever made was a fountain Coca-Cola made with Lithia water. The actual CEO, the founder of Coca-Cola bottling, the guy who made it really happen, and his name is Mr. White. Strange name, Whitehead was his last name, and he was the CEO of the Coca-Cola of the Springs as well. And here's a hotel that they built. The hotel had 300 rooms, and it created to the rich and the famous presidents: Cleveland, William Howard Taft, William McKinney. You're right, a lot of Theodore Roosevelt and the Vanderbilts, Mark Twain. There's a lot of them.
Yeah, I was looking for my notes on that because I actually meant to bring that up. There was a list of presidents that had been known to stay at that hotel where the Lithia Springs are, that they would go to Lithia Springs quite regularly. And I wonder if they actually knew, because I think the government knows a lot more than what they let on, that they actually knew what was
the wealthy people.
there.
Yeah, back in those days, they had all the secrets. And then you had the famous detox vapor bath. You see how they get into this, like a
Can you make that bigger?
Yeah, I don't know if I can. I don't think I can. But yeah, it's actually in a steam bath, and they're actually in a place, one of the sweat things they're in, made of wood. And this is how it used to look. And most of those houses are gone. This is the one we have now with the spring in it. So when you open the spring door, you look down 30 feet and you see this incredible water that's just literally, I can't explain it. It just literally glows, and it's greenish blue. And you look at it and you go, my God, looks like the alive, And that was done by the ancients. So that's an ancient spring that goes 30 feet down in solid granite. So they carved that out too. Here's a book, 1890 book, and the book will tell you all about the hotel, the rich people came, and it's just real history.
So when you look at it now, it looks bluish green.
Yeah. Oh yeah. When it comes out, it's effervescent. That's the term. It's like living. It's energized.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's It's not. Well, think about it. It's traveling miles and miles through these crevices, cracks that have all these exotic minerals. It has silver in it, it has gold in it. We don't put the nano amounts in. Uh, we don't have to do that, and most people wouldn't, really know what's that all about. It's makes the formula unique, and it definitely feels like it's living water. Here's an article. Should we all take a bit of lithium? This is New York Times, and it explains about how this has curative powers for centuries. Lithium, and this is the famous New York Times news clip that made lithium very popular for people who want to live longer and have more cognitive power. As we get older, our cognitive powers diminish. Short-term memories, for instance, uh, even long-term. Mostly it's going to be short-term. When you start hitting your 40s, 50s, you start getting a couple skips. You get older than that, you're skipping down. So it does make a big difference.
And this water helps with that.
Oh yeah, of course. Lithium's known to. Yeah. So the water's so unique because it comes from not just a fountain, but a water temple, a real water temple. That's it. Voila. And then here we can see it's biohack liver detox. It's a natural detox. So just by drinking it, you're going through a detox. Here we have the fountain. Here we talk about grow your telomeres. Reverse aging is real. It is now known in science, population studies. Many different types of research papers are available for people to read about this new knowledge that we have about living longer and living happier. And then we have the lithium bicarbonate. It boosts moods, cognitive functions, improves memory, mental energy, biohack.
Now, when you say boost mood, you challenged me one day. I called you for something, and you asked me if I drank coffee, and I said, well, no, I stopped drinking coffee. It was part of me trying to get myself together to pull away from the caffeine. And you said, if you ever decide to try coffee again, instead of using filtered water or bottled water, try using the lithium water.
Yes.
And it's a real mood enhancer. And I did it, and I was just amazed.
Yeah, I'm always amazed. I'm a happy guy. But if I drink coffee regularly without it, I'm not a nice guy. I'm really not. I'm sorry. I don't know why, but I love coffee. So it was a big discovery for me too.
So you just found that by accident?
Yeah, my wife was telling me, hey man, you gotta quit coffee completely. I quit for 3 months. I had all these withdrawals, headaches. It's real. It's real. And so I thought, man, I just can't live without it. I can't live without her either. What am I gonna do, right? So one day I said, why not? I'm gonna try this lithiated coffee. And man, it was my day good. First time I ever took it, I thought, wow, man, I am feeling great. So my energy level lasts so much longer during the day. And my attitude's just it's just happy. I'm happy.
It's a real mellow groove. I'm showing my age with that, but there was no other phrase to just describe. It's a real mellow groove. And it didn't matter if I used instant coffee or if I perked my coffee or dripped my coffee. I tried it different ways, and it was the same every time as long as you got that water hot.
Yeah, gotta get it hot. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I wanted to bring something to your attention and your audience attention because what's more important in our body than immune system? And most people don't even know what it is. And so you have to think about this, that your immune system is your armor against all these ailments. Look what happened when we had the no, I won't say pandemic, but pandemic. Okay, the pandemic. Uh, so many people died. It was crazy. Look back, and it had to do with immune system disorders. Most of it. People in different countries, and even in the United States. I got, I got the two times. I I got it, the virus, and I actually had it didn't do very much to me at all. I was surprised,
I,
and
I can
I was
co-sign on that.
positive. I was
I can
positive two
co-sign
times.
on that. I have autoimmune disease that I struggle with. I'm defeating it, is what I'd like to say. But during that time, like I said, I increased my usage of lithium water. I had it at least 3 times. Three
Oh,
times.
did you? Oh, you did. Wow.
It didn't
Wow.
last more than 24 hours. And
Wow.
within 24 hours, I was starting to feel like myself again. And I didn't have a lot of the funky, uh, ongoing things that people talked about. I didn't have that experience at all.
Yeah, I thank God for, I mean, I'm paranoid only because, as a child, I died from pneumonia.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, and I was brought back to life. So, I mean, when you have that kind, even as a little child, there's something deep in your mind that you have this fear about, and it's, getting, some sort of ailment like pneumonia, or even some flus can take you down. So I have, something uh, that I believe is very important to me, and that is the water, because my immune system's so much stronger. You can actually take a blood sample. People can tell you, doctor can tell you where your immune system is. It's good to have a strong one.
Yeah. It's funny that you mentioned that because I didn't know that some of that was attributed to this lithium water because I was drinking it and I began to drink it a lot more thanks to the shutdown in 2020. I was
20.
able to better take care of myself, and lithium spring water, mineral spring water, was one of the things that I made a regimen of, and I do believe it protected me a lot. I really do. I think my health has turned a corner, and it's partly to drinking this water. Um, Someone in the chat said that there's a Lithuanian spring in Ashland, Oregon, and they've tasted it.
That's the
Now,
one I was talking about. Yeah, that's the one. It was Ashland, Oregon. I drank that water actually. Had a tough time doing it, but I did it. Yes, yes. But two different things. It's two different things. It is not a commercial water, right? Means that you can't sell it. It's not FDA approved, right? And it has been contaminated many times. So people are taking a slight risk. Some could be taking a big risk. Don't know. But you're right. It's big. 100,000 people a year stop by. Seems pretty big, right?
I've never heard of it. That just the first time I heard of it just now was somebody put it in the chat, and
Yeah,
I was just wondering.
Ashland, Georgia. Ashland, excuse me. Georgia's on my mind, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
in Oregon. Yeah, it's right on the border of California. Very close. Been there a couple of times. Yeah. And they have the faucets out there, and they pipe it, and they pipe it through the ground, so that's where they get the problems.
yeah, yeah. And the difference with this water is not piped through the ground. How is it?
It's piped through Stone Mountain. It travels, you'll never believe it, 15 miles through solid granite and fissures, only fissures, all the way from Stone Mountain. Stone Mountain was also a sacred place. These are places where the ancient people, and there was millions of them in Greater Atlanta. People don't know this. Had huge population of very sophisticated, not primitive Indians, and they would have it was like a mecca. So so they know that Stone Mountain goes down almost 30 miles into the earth. They know that. So
They
it
say
goes
it's a big crystal.
it's like a big giant crystal. Yes. And if you go there, you'll see the writings and the ancient carvings, and most people can't see anything. So kind of strange, but it's because of just, they're not taking it in. They're not feeling it. They're not picking up the frequencies. All these ancient places have very amazing frequencies. The frequency that the earth actually emits is called the Shimar frequency. I think it's 7.8 hertz, just like the human brain. So we're actually symbiotic to the earth's frequency, our brains are. These places, more and more, we're starting to understand that they literally, they actually transmit these frequencies. They make them larger. So you can go with a frequency, you can actually see what the frequencies are. They come off of where the fountain is. You pick them up real good there.
That is absolutely amazing. So from the way you say that this water goes through granite, and that's how you all capture it to get it to the masses, the people that drink and consume this water, it sounds like this is sacred. It sounds like this water is sacred.
It is sacred. That's what I was getting at, that it's a pilgrimage place. It's at the end of the Tallapoosa Trail. Tallapoosa Trail was the large trading trail for all these ancient, tribes and people. And they even have the Mayans have been up in Georgia, and these so-called archaeologists, and nothing against archaeologists, I've worked with lots of them. But they were very fixated that there's no way the Mayans could come all the way up here. What? And now they know that they did come all the way to Georgia for blue clay and Lithia water, probably. Undoubtedly. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. There was another word that you used before when you say nootropic. Can you help me understand
nootropic, that? Yes, nootropic is a term we don't use because, nootropic, you're right. It is a nootropic water, basically. We look at all this and we say to ourselves, let's just try and define it on a level where people can understand the value of this water is for them. Nootropic is a very popular term now because more and more people are worried about their neurons, about their brains. And it's getting to be a bigger and bigger problem. Many new diseases are happening. Neurological. That's the number one new diseases happening are neurological ones. Not a funny thing. Yeah. It's a sad reality, but excuse me on that.
Going back to talking about this water being sacred, I did a 3-day water fast.
Oh boy.
And I used nothing but lithium water. But it was a spiritual thing, the reason why I was doing it. It was at the end of a year. I want to say it was at the end of 2020, maybe, or it was probably the end of 2021 going into 22. The day I got off work that Friday at noon, I didn't drink anything but Lithia spring water for 3 solid days. I didn't watch television. I didn't listen to music. I didn't even talk. I wouldn't even let my own voice be heard. I just journaled. And if I wanted to hear music, I could, play my tambourines or my shaman tassels. I could do that, or I could play on my drums, but I couldn't do anything. I would like to come back and after doing that again and just kind of have you like the day that I actually come off of it. I would like for you to help me process and understand what I'm feeling. I would like to describe to you a sensation and help me understand it. Because I don't know if it made me or broke me. I can honestly tell you that my speech cadence changed. Like I'm speaking pretty rapid right now. My speech cadence slowed down. I was more deliberate in the execution of my words. some mornings I would get the shakes. And it wasn't until I drunk that water, I would lay down and drink that water and then lay back down and just let my body rest. And then I would get up and be fine. But in the beginning, again, I was dealing with autoimmune disease
Oh,
and
wow.
had just had the surgery not long before that. And I had a lot of yucky stuff in my body in terms of medications, and I was shifting and that kind of stuff. So that
Oh,
was
wow.
part of it. But more so, it was more of a spiritual thing that I wanted to see if I could press myself into a 3-day water fast. And I remember the next time I talked to you, you were so impressed and you said you should try 5 days. I'm like, 5 days? He's like, yeah, you
Yeah,
can even do 7. So can you
well, you
talk
need
to
to
us a little
do
bit
that.
about those
Yeah.
fastings?
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a huge difference when you're using a water fast, a water that is almost like a food. The body registers it differently. When you start doing water fasting with waters that have nothing in it, no electrolytes, no micronutrients, what happens, your body starts feeding upon itself. And it does eat these dead cells and it remakes them. So they use it for a nutrient, your body. It will do that with Lithia water. But the point is, you're not, what is the word? You start getting headaches, you start getting stomach pains. Water fasting with the wrong waters, it's difficult, very difficult. With the Lithia spring water, what I myself have discovered is it's real easy to do water fast. And
Yeah,
that's
I
what
didn't get
kind of
any of
blew
that.
my mind was that, oh my God, wait a second, I've done water fast and I never made it to 3 days, you know. And then one day I tried the Lithia water. It was just too easy. I go, you got to be kidding me. If you can hit that 3 day point and go over it, go into 4 days. Some people can go 5 days. You don't want to push yourself. You don't need to. And then what you're doing is you're taking out of your body a lot of gunk. And most of that gunk is dead cells. And many dead cells in your bodies, they now attribute the possibility of cancer causing.
Now,
And
I can honestly attest to what you're saying because back in the days when I was a Christian and going to Catholic church, it was nothing to do fast. We would do 3, 5, 7 day fast. And we didn't have bottled water during those years. Bottled water wasn't a thing then. You just drank
yeah,
tap water, right?
yeah,
And I would do fasting. And so there was this pressing in, and that was part of the pious experience that you were supposed to suffer, right? So
yeah.
I noticed that when I did this with the Lithia water, I didn't have that. Like I said, when I took my medicine, I have to take my medicine because I had an organ removed. So I would notice that after I took that medicine, I would start to feel some kind of way. But I would just drink more water and just lie down for about 20, 30 minutes. And then I felt fine throughout the day. I would have to remind myself to drink some water. And I didn't have the hunger cravings that I thought I would either after like the first day.
Yeah, it makes a difference. It makes a big difference. And so many people, they try these water fasts and they go and they break through, but what they're doing can be negative. That's why water fasting, I'll tell you right now, that it's not for the weak. It isn't for the weak. And what it is good for is that people use the right waters and they don't try and go out too far. You have to acclimate it. You have to train your body. So if you can get up to that 4 or 5 days, you're doing it does a world of good for the human body. Really does.
Again, viewers, if you have questions, please drop them in the chat. And you have questions for Kian and about the Fountain of Youth and Lithia water, drop them in the chat and we can get to your question. Kian, I'm personally committing myself here live in front of all these people and witnesses, right? I am going to commit to doing a minimum of a 3-day fast once a month. And I want to start in August, just being
Wow.
honest with myself. Starting in August, I'm going to make every attempt to do at least a 3-day fast once a month because I want to be healthy. And just hearing you talk about how using this water and just knowing from my own previous experience of drinking this water over the years, but hearing more of the detail of what you're sharing with us about how this water can, you know, be a brain neuron booster, and that how it can kill off toxins and just, you know, help you
Yeah.
your memory, and that it's spiritual, it's sacred.
It is more than people realize. You actually get to that point. If you go out 3, 4 days, your whole thought process is different. So many ways. You don't have the anxiety, and then there's another aspect, and that is uh, you just feel like you're completely a complete person with this world. Versus fearing you're always alone, or etc. There's a lot of things that go on. And I think it's a cleansing that does it. We have a website called bestfastingwater.com.
Bestfastingwater.com. I'm going to put it in the chat for people.
Yeah, 73051. And that one will actually educate you real fast as to what fasting is all about. Yeah, and we do say, hey, if you've got some sort of ailment or something like that, go to your doctor first and just ask them, if it's good for you. Because a lot of people may be not, capable of doing a water fast only because their health is bad.
And I love that you said that, because I hear a lot of times in various health stores and stuff like that, and people in passing, they talk to people like there's a one size that fits all, and it's not. I have been a guide for people on their health journey, and
Uh-huh.
I always say, even an identical twin doesn't have the same fingerprint. So there's things that's going to work for you and this person and me that may not work for that person and the other person. And we need to know what your background is. We need to know your health. Walk through your health history. Like you
Right.
said, go to your doctor. If nothing else, we need them for their tests. Get them to run blood tests or whatever, and share that or analyze that. I pray that somebody on your journey will come into your path that can help you analyze that and won't just sell you a product because they have a storefront and they want to give you a product, but they would actually look at you as an individual and what's going to benefit you on your journey. Do you have any allergies, to anything that's in this product? I looked at Lithia water very seriously because I have an allergic reaction to sulfur, and I was told that if I ever encountered it again, it could kill me. So I
Sulfur?
read the
Sulfur?
ingredients.
Is that sulfur?
Sulfur with an FA. So I was looking at, the ingredients, and it's not in lithium water, but I just said that to say there's various illnesses that people go through with things you wouldn't typically be allergic to, you will have a reaction to because your body is unhealthy, and you have to build yourself up before you can go in and start doing things like you say with the water fast. You should prepare yourself
Yes. Yes.
with information.
Yeah. Once you've done it a few times and you really understand your own body, that's when amazing things happen. Even
Mhm.
lucid dreaming. It's always good.
Yes.
Yeah, lithium spring water can give you lucid dreaming at
What,
first. Yeah.
what I love the most about it is that I get visits from my ancestors a lot when I drink the lithium water at night before I go to bed.
That's a wonderful thing.
I
That,
love it.
well, it tells you a lot of things about the world we live in. It's remarkable. And
So,
our sisters never really leave us.
yes, 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 yes. Now, in respect of your time, is there anything you'd like to get out that I may have missed, or something that you just thought of that you'd like to share with us as we get ready to close this thing out?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the most important thing that I have in my life to do is to enlighten people to the awareness of how amazing their bodies are and how they have so many self-healing mechanisms that are not being used. And the reason they're not being used is they're not aware of what they have. They're born with this incredible gift, So my journey in life right now is about bringing to people a knowledge about their real biology and how to live longer and healthier and happier. I think it's natural, it's so built in that once people become enlightened to that message, uh, they have a better life. And I think this water does help a lot of people have a better life.
Yeah.
It's water. It's not just H2O. There's much more to it.
So it's not just H2O. There's much more to it. This
No,
one bag is equivalent to about 16 bottles of water, or is it 10 bottles of water?
10,
Something like that.
10, 16-ounce bottles. Yes, 10. So it's one gallon and 1.3 gallons. It may seem a little expensive, but if you go to a health food store and see how much supplements are, you'll see this is priced right. It's affordable, and it will give you what you're looking for.
And here's what I'll add to that. You can pay out your wallet or you can pay with your health. I think I'm priceless in any shape,
You
form,
are
or fashion.
priceless, yeah.
And so I'm willing to pay a couple of extra bucks. But if we all are honest, we paid a lot more for less. And like I said, getting it direct from Lithia Springs, I found to be more cost effective than actually getting it from some of the storefronts. But then again, you're waiting for shipping. So if you can get it from, closer areas and you need it right away, that's good. This is a BPA free bag. I love that it's not plastic. When I first started getting it in this way, I don't know if you guys can see the shininess here. It's not plastic, so
That's
it's
a
very.
that's a spout bag. It's a spout bag, and the reason is the lithium bicarbonate. It actually, when you pour out, let's say the water, it stays alkaline, and it also stays very potent with the lithium bicarbonate, so it stays fresh as if it just came right from the spring itself. That's what you want. There is no oxygen in the bag, so that's another huge benefit. It can actually preserve the freshness of the water for a very long time.
Yeah, it tastes just as fresh from the first time that I opened it to from the first cup to the last. It's just as fresh. It doesn't start to get stale or flat or anything like that. I notice, and this is very earth friendly. And for those of you that are watching today, Lithia Spring Water wants to give you the opportunity to experience it for yourself. This is a limited time offer, and this is a code that you can put in when you go to I'm going to put the website on. When you go to this to the Lithia Spring website and use this code, you can get a discount. And the code is 10% off today. And that's 1010, the percent sign, off today, all one word. Use that discount code and get a bag of the lithium water, 5-liter bag. I get 2 like every 2 weeks. And sometimes I have to pause my subscription because I don't get a chance to drink it because I'm running all around the country or whatever's going on. But that's our treat for you all today, because we want you to have this fantastic water from the Fountain of Youth, one of the undisclosed 8th wonders of the world. You've made me a believer, and I hope that Ian has made you a believer as well. And I hope you take advantage of trying this. You have a coupon code there. Again, I get 2 of these delivered to my home. Delivery is pretty swift. They come and package the spigot where the water comes out. It's always wrapped and padded. It's really good shipping, really fast shipping. And like I said, I've been drinking this water since like 2009. And I just become more aggressive with it in the last 4 years than I was before. Again, I'm much older than I was in 2009, but I tell you what, I can feel the difference in my health and my life. And I feel like this is protecting my temple. This temple water is protecting my temple. And that's why I wanted you guys to get the firsthand conversation. As you know, on this channel, I'm all for anything that's going to be helpful and beneficial. I'm a frequency coach, and I like to share things with you from time to time. We've done demonstrations on how to cook mushrooms using lion's mane mushrooms, as well as I've actually came on here with actual cod livers to make a dish from it. So you can find anything here sometime. And I hope this has been an enlightenment to you all. And I hope you take advantage of getting the discount and trying the Lithia water. Ian, did you want to close us out here?
I hope everybody's listening starts tuning in to what a wonderful body they have and what a wonderful life they have. And don't believe what they're telling you. You all have an opportunity to live much longer. Just know this, that the biohacking's real. And as soon as you know how to activate these self-healing mechanisms in your body, one of them is detox. That's a very important one. You will definitely be a happier person, and you'll be a person who lives happy and long. See, that's the name of the game. You got to stay in the game and enjoy life. So thank you for your time. Appreciate it, Ray. Thank you very much, Doctor.
And
appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate this tremendously, and I hope you all join me. Like I said, starting August, I'm just gonna commit to doing a 3-day water fast once a month, just so I can keep my body built up and kill off some of those unnecessary radical cells that get in there from some of the junk I've eaten over the years. I've gotten pretty good at eating more fruits and vegetables, real soul food, raw fruits and vegetables on a more consistent basis. And so we're going to ride this thing out. And Ken, you said you come back when I do my water fast in August. At the end of it, you'll come back. I'll try to get on your calendar, and we'll just come back, no script, and we'll just talk about how that affected me. And
I'm going to do it too. I'm going to do it with you.
Oh.
Yeah, really. It's time.
Okay.
Yeah, I noticed. The food we're eating, right? I've noticed. I'm not exercising as I normally do, and I noticed an interesting thing. Putting on weight's so easy now, and it's the food. It's the food we're eating. And I thought, man, this is unbelievable. And no, it's not. And if you look around, a lot of people are having the same problems. So when you do the water fast, you kind of reboot your metabolism.
Yes. Okay, so we're in it, Soul family. So to be continued.
All right. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend. I appreciate you.
Likewise. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Take care. Thank you, guys. Get your Lithia water. Use your discount code. Until real soon.